Hey YouTube, it's Penny. I'm recording this on September 15th, and I have no idea what I'm going to call this video because I'm just going to bring you a potpourri of different things from my dream journal over the past year. And if you have interpretation or scripture, will you please put it in the comments, and I'll approve those as soon as I can get to them. And it's not really helpful to other people if you send me private messages telling me what you think things might mean. I think it would be helpful if you would share that publicly so that other people can see what you have to say. So, okay, here we go. Starting on September 11th, a year ago, back in 2014. I dreamt that a friend of ours was pregnant and her husband said he was expecting 2 sons. It made me wonder if this was a play on words regarding 2 sons, S-U-N-S, and when I shared it with David, that was actually his first thought as well. However, the next dream I had was about my nephew back when he was a little boy, and he was doing the same thing that he saw my brother, his dad, doing, and I said, like father, like son. So, perhaps the expecting 2 sons really is about sons, S-O-N-S, and not sons, S-U-N-S. And if that's the case, then maybe it's about expecting both the son of perdition and the son of glory. On November 6th of 2014, I saw a woman with a necklace that had dull silver medallions, not shiny, looked more like, like pewters, like a dull metal. And these medallions were of varying sizes that went all the way around this necklace. And so the medallions were of the sun, moon, and stars. And she said that she could adjust or align them like an atomic clock. And she was telling this other woman that her necklace was accurate to within 2 hours. No idea what that means. I'm not even sure what an atomic clock is. On March 20th, and if some of these don't, mean anything to you, skip them. Some of these may or may not be prophetic. I think most of them are, but some of them could be meant for, just, one person is looking for something, a piece of information, and the Father's using me to deliver it. So if it doesn't, make any sense to you, don't sweat it. Okay, March 20th of 2015. In the dream, I was walking with David and saw something off to the left side of the road that looked strangely grotesque. As I looked closer, I realized that it was a huge red frog. Just beyond it was this very large, also grotesque-looking, old junkyard dog that was chained up. He was barking and lunging at us, but the chain was holding him back. And then I saw another menacing dog, similar to a husky with icy blue eyes. And this dog came out from behind a bush and was growling at us. And we just stood still, commanding the dog with a firm no. So upon waking, I wondered if the huge red frog represents the dragon and the junkyard dog represents the ancient beasts that have been chained and held back for so long. I don't know what that second dog represents other than that husky dogs come from the north, and there are scriptures about enemy, armies coming from the north. But whatever they represent, David and I knew that we were to stand firm and rebuke them. On May 26th of 2015, I saw a man speaking as though he were a paid spokesman on a commercial. And he said, "Boston Market is the bomb." What I saw was on Boston Market, it was the B-O and the M that were in bold. So at first it was like, so B-O-M, like bill of materials, or as in bomb, B-O-M-B. So I looked up Boston Market. It's a restaurant chain. And I thought maybe there would be something with their logo that would be a clue as to what this was about. But I couldn't find anything other than you can, on their website, you can select the Boston Market restaurant in your area, like if you're trying to find a franchise location near you, and the map that came up actually caught my attention. The reason that this map caught my attention is because it reminded me of this map. So I don't know if they're connected or not, or if any of you know something about Boston Market is the bomb that you think the Father's trying to alert us to hear. Please share it. Okay, on May 28th of 2015, I was in a locker room and there were stacks of football jerseys in different colors and all different sizes, including for women and children. There were 4 buses of football players showing up, and I asked the coach if I should start distributing the jerseys, like putting one per locker. And he said, no, wait and let the players pick their own size. So at that point, I held up a men's extra large, and it was huge. It was like 6 feet by 4 feet. And it reminded me of Bidamar, Numbers, chapter 13, verses 30 through 33, where it says, "And Caleb," which is Caleb, stilled at the people before Moshe and said, "Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it." But the men that went up from him said, "We will not be able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we." And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, "The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eats up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. And there we saw at the Nephilim the sons of Anak, which come from the Nephilim, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight." And the Father has shown me a lot of things about football, and he told me football equals battlefield. So on June 26th, I had another football thing, but all I wrote down was football game dash rematch question mark followed by the word contagion. And I don't remember anything about that dream or vision or whatever it was that caused me to write that down that night. But the interesting thing is there were also, I had drawn lines on the page that looked like this, but I don't remember why I drew them or what they symbolized. Okay, on July 1st of 2015, I saw a newspaper headline that read, "War in the Suddenlies." On July 14th, 2015, I heard, "Stars and stripes forever? No, my Torah is forever." Doesn't sound good for the US. On July 25th, when falling asleep, I had a vision, and it was of something, I don't know what, but it was spinning, and it kept spinning faster and faster, and I had the sense that something was going to collide. It actually got louder and increased in speed until finally it exploded, and upon waking, I heard the word inconceivable. And immediately I thought about CERN, CERN, because of the Large Hadron Collider. And it's interesting because I had previously, in a video called "This Generation Shall Not Pass Away," that I uploaded back on March 24th of 2013, the word inconceivable was part of that. So I'm going to put a link in the description box if you want to check that out. Okay, July 28th, 2015, I heard a woman saying, oh yeah, this was interesting. She was like, she had her hair like up in a bun. It was like she was sitting at a desk or a table. She was giving a presentation, but it seemed more like maybe she was testifying. Anyway, well, here's what I heard her say. She said, "And let me tell you something. The Russians shot that last watercraft. It was a Jubilee spaced ringed missile." So it was very clear. And then that same night, later, I woke up to the words protein navigation. Don't know if it's connected. August 6th, 2015, I had a vision of a machine, and it looked similar to an arcade game that you would see, in a video arcade where kids would play. But this machine, you would sing into a microphone, and it would then enhance your song or your voice, and it would put it into like this full production with instruments and everything, and make this, anyway, you could order gifts and photo cards with music, those cards that you open up, and so then it would have your like full production song inside of it. The machine had a cartoon theme, so it was very colorful, and it had these little workers who would put the production together, that were painted on the outside of the machine. So they were little beasts, Beasts, and the name of the arcade machine was Beastiality. It was all done up in fun scripted letters and colors to make it look, like, isn't this fun? And I couldn't believe it. I mean, we are on a slippery slope in this country, and the way that, sodomy and some other things have become mainstream, and now we're going to be looking at, polygamy and, who knows what else. But the fact that the Father was showing me bestiality, that's beyond the pale. Okay. Oh, here's an interesting one. So August 13th, 2015, I dreamt about a woman. I saw her. She was underwater, and she was almost out of breath, and she was struggling. She was outside of this large ship, or maybe it was a submarine, and I saw a man. He was facing me, and he was coaching her. He was saying, "You can do it," and trying to tell her, what she needed to be doing. Well, there was this large fan or motor on the back of the ship, and it was stuck. So it had stopped running. And so her job was to go down there and, free it to get the boat moving again, which she finally did. The scene transitioned, and I saw everybody who was on board this ship, and they were taking up a collection to buy like a thank you gift or a reward for what she had done, to save them. So in the dream, the collection drive was actually being coordinated by my former boss at Prisoners for Christ. So I think that's significant, set the captives free. The gift was a very large set of his and hers luggage. One was red, hers, and one was black, his. The woman was still married at the time, so I understood that the gift was for her future when she would be married. The thing that was interesting about this luggage is that each suitcase, they were very tall, like they almost look like lockers in a sense, or I don't know how to describe it, but they were like maybe 6 feet tall, each one of these, and they were the hard shell kind, that you pushed on rollers. And when I saw her open them, and each suitcase had 4 smaller suitcases inside of it. So for a total of 4 red inside the red one and 4 black inside the black one. So, and then I saw the brand name of the luggage up close, and it was Nissan. So, and I remember at the time writing this down in the middle of the night going, like, the car company? And then later it was like, no, this is a clue. This is a clue about when all this happens. And I believe it's the month of Nisan. So there's a lot in that dream. I should have probably made a video just with that one. But anyway, I think the Father's definitely showing us something there. On August 13th of 2015, I dreamt about, I don't know what it was. It was like fertilization and then consummation or something like that. It was like a 2-part process of something that was happening later. And it was to happen on the 23rd day of the month. I wrote that down, and the next morning when I was looking at it, I was like, 23rd day of the month. Okay, there's all this stuff pointing to September 23rd. Is it about that? Is it about the 23rd of Tishri, which would be Simchat Torah this year? Well, actually, it's always Simchat Torah, which is the great 8th day celebration. So maybe that's like the second part of this 2-part whatever. So there's fertilization happening and then consummation. I don't know. I wish I had better understanding of what it was I was being shown. I don't know. But then thing that came to my mind is because this was the same night that I had the dream about the woman and the luggage and all of that in Nissan. Is this about the 23rd of Nissan? No clue. Okay, August 28th, I dreamt a female scientist just finished her research, and she was running to report her findings to this PhD man who was in charge of whatever, I don't know what, but to tell him that based on all of her research, there was a huge earthquake that would happen on the 28th in conjunction with a holy day. I saw a graphic of her research, and it had to do with the west coast of America. And I mean, it didn't look like the west coast of America. Like the coastline was different. So upon waking, it was weird because it was like the 28th, and I got this on August 28th. But since in the dream it was in conjunction with a holy day, maybe this is something about September 28th and the blood moon that's supposed to occur on Sukkot. But I also remember now receiving something. Let me look it up. Hold on. Okay, I found it. To go back in my files here. So where did it go? Here it is. On June 30th of 2012, I heard the word super volcano, and I was shown a date on a calendar. So maybe this is two events that are both going to happen on the same day, the 28th. I don't know. Okay. September 7th, 2015, I saw the three Bushes walking towards me. And so this was George W. Bush. He was in the middle. George Sr. was on the left-hand side, and then Jeb Bush was on the right-hand side as far as like facing me. So they had just come out from the woods, and they were had just crossed this open field, and they were about to enter the edge of whatever this town was. They were carrying rifles like they had been hunting. So I saw George Sr. and George Jr. Walk to my left, and then Jeb went off to my right. So they separated. I don't follow politics anymore, so I have no idea what this is about. Okay, on September 12th, I saw a slogan that was being presented by like a marketing team for an ad campaign, and I saw them. They were presenting it in two different fonts, and this is what it looked like. So I wasn't going to write it down, but as I started falling back to sleep, I kept hearing "broker on the hill for 5 days" over and over. I was like, okay, I'll write it down. Would be curious to know what you think about that one. I have my own thoughts, but I don't know. Okay. September 12th. I dreamt about some sort of a shared event that many people had simultaneously experienced. And it somewhat reminded me of that TV series Flash Forward, where everyone lost consciousness for a period of time. And in that case, they experienced the future. But in this dream, not everybody was part of this, whatever this shared experience was. But for those people who were, I understood that it would be life-changing, like they'd never be the same again. And I also understood that it was like a worldwide event. So I saw these people, coming to. So this was like they'd all had like a shared, vision or something. It wasn't so much like that they'd lost consciousness. Anyway, so I saw them, and they were outside in this like outdoor area of in front of this glass building or buildings, kind of like a mall. And okay, then the scene, I focused in on this young woman, early 20s, and she's on her cell phone. She's calling 911 to report what she believes is a nuclear explosion. And the 911 operator was having difficulty believing her. And she was saying, well, we haven't received any other phone calls about this. And but then I could see the astonished look on this young woman's face. And my eyes focused on the building behind her, where I saw the mushroom cloud reflected in the glass. At that point, I ran inside the mall and I saw it was like the women's dress department, and all of the dresses were in fall colors and had designs of leaves on them. So this is a clue to the timing of this. Okay, I'm going to end it there. This is long enough. There's many more things that I still have to share with you, but since I don't record videos that often, I thought I'd just put these all together, even though they're obviously not all related. But anyway, and continue to blow the shofar, warning the people of what is coming. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, our Lord God, King of the universe. Amen.